Ohio.
What's up, everybody? It's TheAnimeObserver, and I'm here to bring you an all-new anime review on KonoSuba. KonoSuba recently finished its first season with 10 episodes, and when I say it's a comedy anime, don't click away. This is not your standard fare for a comedy anime. I guarantee you it's not quite what you're thinking. So let's set the stage for this show. First off, we have our main character, our protagonist, Kazuma. He is, or was, a Japanese kid. He was kind of a shut-in, a NEET, is what they keep calling him throughout the show. And he didn't really have any friends, didn't really have too much going on in his life. And in a kind of pseudo-heroic instance, he dies. And I'm not going to tell you how he dies because that's a joke in and of itself. But he winds up going to this other world after he dies, and this world is basically the exact replica of what you would expect of a fantasy RPG, a role-playing game. It's, if you've ever played an RPG, either a traditional game or a video game or anything like that, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Or an RPG, an MMORPG, I mean. There's, different kinds of monsters all over the place. You get quests to go and kill a certain number of monsters. You get quests to do, all an assortment of different things, and you're rewarded with experience and money, and that's exactly how they're rewarded. And they have these little cards, and when they level up, they can buy new abilities. It's just like an MMO, basically. So now that we know, what's going on in the world and everything, we have our characters. We have main male character, Kazuma. Then we have the goddess, Aqua, who's not really tsundere, kind of tsundere. She's a bitch, basically. We have Darkness, who is the very lewd, provocative knight. And then we have Megamine, who is kind of a lowly mage, kind of. So we have a pretty interesting cast going in, and each of them definitely has their own very lively, very defined personality, which is it's very atypical of a comedy of this setup with the harem setup, if you will. I don't know if it's quite enough women for that, but we're gonna call it that anyway. So each character, instead of falling into the archetypes of like tsundere, yandere, dere, kudere, whatever, they somewhat resemble these different archetypes and then just fucking destroy them because they actually have a personality, and you can't very well, be an archetype if you have your own personality. That being said, I actually found myself invested in these characters after just a couple of episodes, and I don't know how everybody else deals with that, but for me, it is really, really hard to get invested in characters for me. Usually they either need to be really well-written characters, they need to have something really human about them for me to even begin to give a fuck about them. And this show definitely succeeded in doing that. They don't, at least so far, they don't have, a bunch of really tragic backgrounds and all that kind of shit. They're pretty, average people for what they are, I guess. But they're so damn weird. Let's take Darkness, for example, the Knight. She is a masochist in a very sexual way. And her whole thing is about honor and being a knight, but also she wants to fight strong enemies because she wants them to beat her. So that winds up being a pretty good source of humor for this show. Aqua is a goddess, and she's supposedly super powerful. All of her stats were maxed out as soon as she came into this world, but she's still an idiot, and she's basically completely incompetent, but she still likes to, spout off about how she's a goddess and everything, and how people need to treat her better, and how Kazuma needs to be taking care of her and all this kind of shit because she's a goddess. And then we have Megumin, who is very chunibyo, if you know what that means. Basically, she's... how do you explain that? Chunibyo is basically like you're delusional, but generally like you're a really big nerd. Like people who would do live action role playing, but like take it outside of the actual role playing and like be like that all the time, like they are their character. That's the best way I can describe Chunibyo, and that's what she is essentially. If you don't know what that is, then watch the show Chunibyo, what the fuck ever the rest of the words are. I don't speak Japanese. It's a really good show. Definitely watch that too. But with a diverse set of characters like this, it's really hard not to like them. And as far as the comedy goes, it's definitely not your typical fanfare. It's not your falling over each other and grabbing tits or walking in on each other in the bath. I mean, that does happen once, but it's definitely not in the context that you're thinking, because I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking the guy walks into the bath on the girl, and then she gets all flustered and, you know, punches him in the face or some shit. That's not what fucking happens. That is not the way this show works whatsoever. If you're expecting that kind of comedy going in, this takes that kind of idea and turns it on its head, because it knows what you're expecting to see in this show. The people writing it, they know exactly what you're expecting going in, and they don't fucking do it. And it's fantastic, because there are elements of meta humor in there, which at this point is getting a little bit old. It's getting kind of lazy to use meta humor, but they do it so well that I just can't deny how fucking good the show is. I don't really have anything negative to say about it overall. Even, you know, as much as I usually like to find things to complain about, I really can't. The character design's good, the characters' personalities are good, the comedy is good, the overall writing is good, but they also don't take the writing too seriously, which is part of why it's so goddamn good. I can't really think of anything to complain about. I would definitely give this show a solid 9 out of 10, and I'm definitely looking forward to season 2. Basically, if you're an anime fan and you like comedy, this is a very fresh take on what you're used to, and also it goes above and beyond what you're used to. If you like the video, like the video. If you don't like the video, dislike the video. Do whatever you want. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about the show. Tell me what you think about the channel. You know, tell me what you want me to review next. All that good shit. This is the Anime Observer, signing out.